It was a very, very hot July day, and Brian, my husband, was out of town. I got a call from my pediatrician saying, "We looked at Andrew's blood labs, they didn't look so good. We really would love you to come back before the close of business today. Just make sure you can make that happen." And I said, "Okay, I'll somehow make that happen." We went to the doctor's office together, and the doctor took one look at Andrew and said, "You know what? I'm gonna send you up the road to Sinai Hospital, and I'm gonna see if Dr. Joe Wiley's on call, because let's just rule out the worst." Dr. Wiley came into the exam room and looked at Andrew. They did more labs, and everything just started to kind of get worse from there, and he decided that he was going to admit Andrew. So up we go to the 3rd floor of Sinai Hospital, and I remember walking past the plaque that said Pediatric Oncology, Sinai Hospital, and thinking to myself, am I in the middle of just the worst nightmare of my life? And I had nothing with me except my handbag and Andrew and the clothes I was wearing that day. And I said to the nurse, as we were trying to figure out where we were gonna sleep and get settled in, if you wanna even call it that, and she said, "We've got some pajamas, don't worry. I've got some pajamas I can bring you." And I was thinking, oh, she's just gonna bring back a hospital gown for me. That's really nice of her. And she comes back and she has beautifully wrapped in a ribbon, pajamas for myself and pajamas for my son. Nice, fresh, cool, clean pajamas. And I thought to myself, well, one thing went right today. And you talk about superheroes having perfect timing, and talk about an organization that has great timing. I remember reading the card that was attached to the ribbon and reading about Cammy's Jammies and Casey Cares for the first time, and tucking that card away in my handbag and thinking, man, I really need to write them a thank you note, because out of everything that is spiraling out of control today, this is really something that came to my rescue. And that was the first time that Casey Cares came into our life. And little did I know then how much Casey Cares was gonna be there for me from that point on until today, for not just myself and my son, but for my entire family.
So Casey Cares had made arrangements for our family to really have our first outing. We hadn't thought anything about an outing. This had come upon us in July, near the end of July, and now it was early September. Andrew had been just beaten up by the first 30 days of chemotherapy, lost the ability to walk, was on his way to losing about 1/3 of his body weight. And we were preparing to go to the game though. We all had to get out. It was a blur at first. We'd go in the main entrance, we'd go down below, go out in the field to watch batting practice. And as I'm sitting there looking, Caroline nudges me, and out from the dugout I catch, and Coach Buck Showalter's coming out. So he came over, and I'll never forget the words he said to me. He said, I thought I was having a pretty bad day. Things just aren't going well in the clubhouse, and I looked out and I saw you there. But do you mind if I spend 5 or 10 minutes talking to your family? I was floored. I remember me feeling as though he was giving too much of his time, but he wanted to stay with us. I remember at the end, he shook my hand, he grabbed it back in to me, held it, and he said, if me or my wife can do anything for your family, just please let us know. And I kind of looked back at that whole day, and it was just everything I could have never imagined, because as a parent, when you're 60 days into a cancer diagnosis for your son, you're not thinking beyond the next day.
It helps us feel really good, because we have lots of tough days, and it just helps our days get better.
One time we went on a commercial, we got to go on the field where the baseball players play. It was really special. It made me feel really happy, like my brother wasn't the only one.
Again, Andrew was still confined to his stroller, and he could stand up, he could put weight on his legs, but he wasn't walking at all. Andrew noticed that the Oriole bird was about 10, 15 feet away and had just finished with another child and said, "Daddy, I want to go walk over to him." I looked at him like he was crazy. I guess maybe I didn't have the faith that he could do this yet. So sure enough, I remember calling Caroline over really quick, and both got on each side of the stroller, locked the stroller in place. He lifted up with his legs and slowly took about the 5 or 6 steps into the bird's arms, and the bird kind of grabbed onto him, turned around, got his big hug, people took pictures, turned around, sat back in his stroller like, what's the big deal? You know, I wanted to go see the bird firsthand. But it was, again, one of those opportunities that Casey Cares had taken our family out of the, what had become our regular routine that I don't think any parent wants as a regular routine. And they helped us to escape, if only for a couple of hours. But when your tank's running on empty, these moments just fill it right back up.
Just a year ago, he was bald and thin, and on week 3 of a hospital stay where I was asking the doctor every single day, is he going to pull through? Is he going to survive this chemo? To seeing the small little wins we had along the way, thanks to Casey Cares, him starting to learn how to walk again, him wanting to walk again to the Oriole bird. B&O Railroad Museum, getting up and dancing for the first time at an event there, really started to show me there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and this is happening for us because we're meeting so many wonderful people. And now I stopped saying why me, and now I understand why this is happening for us.
Casey Cares has provided dozens of outings and created many lasting memories for the Oberle family since Andrew was diagnosed with cancer. The Oberle family is just one of the 800 families Casey Cares will support this year alone. Since Casey Cares was founded in the year 2000, we have provided over 40,000 activities to 90,000 participants throughout the Mid-Atlantic, from West Virginia to New Jersey. We have distributed over 30,000 new pairs of pajamas to critically ill children at over 75 hospitals. Once every 56 minutes, Casey Cares is providing an activity to a family in need. Casey Cares relies on superheroes like you to continue our mission of providing uplifting experiences to critically ill children and their families. Be a superhero and donate to Casey Cares today.